Good evening, everybody. This is Tonetta, your coach here at Speak Your Truth. And I just wanted to say welcome to the video this evening. This is a different kind of video that I'm doing for you all because I actually have to make dinner too. My partner is, of course, at work, so I'm, of course, the one who's making dinner today. So I'm making just the base of it for right now. But we're actually going to have some vegetable quesadillas. So that's going to have mushrooms, bell peppers, jalapenos, onions, and of course cheese in the tortilla shell. But what I want to talk to you tonight while I'm of course chopping and preparing all this stuff was of course to still make sure that I'm doing this video. And this video is talking about of course knowing yourself. And I have to look at some because I have notes over here as well, but I'll look up as much as I can as I'll be chopping and then of course talking. But like I said, definitely knowing yourself inside your relationship is key to everything that goes on within your relationship. I know I've said it a lot. I know other coaches may say that a lot, therapists and counselors and things like that as well. But when you're dealing with somebody in a relationship and you don't know yourself well, of course that's going to cause some issues down the line. Or sometimes people do know themselves well, but they're holding back and not, of course, being open, being honest with the partner that they're with. And like I said, that can definitely cause issues within your relationship. So I had wrote down, let me see, there's 11 things, of course, because I know I've said just do the work and all those kind of things. But of course, usually I'm talking about a couple, that kind of thing as well. But I just want to make sure that you all knew that, of course, any kind of relationship that you have, there's individuals in that relationship. And like I said, the individuals are the ones who, of course, run that relationship. So like I said before, the individuals have to be, of course, on the same page. They have to be gelling together well. They have to, of course, know themselves well before they even get into that relationship. And that's what I always try to tell people. But I know, like I said, that's a choice they have to make, regardless of what I say, regardless of what any kind of other relationship coach or therapist or whoever it is may say. Some do just go into relationships that don't know each other and just doing whatever they want to do and things are going on and it's just pure chaos and arguments and all these things are going on because neither person has a good grounds or grip on who they really are and who they truly are and how they're going to show up in the relationship as well. So like I said, I do have 11 things I definitely want to make sure that I talk to you about or at least go over, I guess I put it that way, as far as talking about our own self-awareness and of course knowing ourselves. Because like I said, I know I talked a little bit about it last year in the group as well, but I definitely want to focus on it more this year as far as how we're showing up and, of course, how we're unpacking our baggage, I guess I put it that way, before we even get into relationships. And, of course, some of you are already in committed relationships, and that's okay as well. Just keep in mind that you can always, of course, work on things and do the work, as I always say, that kind of thing as well. And I hope that this may help you all to do some of that work. I guess I should say that. So, and let me go ahead and get started. The first one is, let me look at the sheet here. Of course, I've already talked about knowing who you are, know yourself. That's the main thing. Make sure that you're self-aware. And like I said, actually, I guess it's 10 things because the first one I was talking about was just knowing yourself and the importance of that. But like I said, the next one, of course, is knowing what you like. You have to know what you like, whether that's whatever your favorite foods are. I don't care what it is, whether it's your favorite foods or if it's your favorite color, it's your favorite flowers, or you like something special in the bedroom, you like massages, whatever it is, you have to definitely know what you like. Like I said, your partner's not going to know what you like. They're coming into the relationship not knowing who you are, so you have to tell them and show them who you are. So like I said, that's definitely one of the main things that you do have to make sure that you're, of course, thinking about, looking at yourself, about making sure that you, of course, making sure that you know, like I said, what you like. Making sure that you know how you're going to, of course, communicate that to your partner, whether it's something you like in the bedroom, something outside the bedroom, no matter what it is, you have to definitely know what you like. You don't want to show up and have no idea what you like. You leave yourself open for, not saying that everybody's a user, that kind of thing at all, but we know there's folks out there that are narcissists and that use people and do things on spite and all that kind of stuff as well. I'm looking for somebody to raise them still because their parents didn't do so or because they didn't do so or whatever it is. You have to make sure that you're, of course, protecting yourself in some type of way from folks, of course, running over you and using you. So like I said, all these things that I'm going to go over, of course, these things will definitely help you in that matter to make sure that you, like I said, know yourself well. And like I said, this first one here was talking about know what you like. The second one, of course, is talking about know what you don't like. That goes with the first one. Know what you don't like. Know that if you don't like certain, I don't know, foods or colors, or you don't like the pillows in the bed, or whatever it is, you don't like animals or whatever it is, making sure that you know what you like. You don't want to set yourself up in somebody that's coming into the relationship and they don't really know who you are, is just doing whatever they want to do because you haven't told them what it is that you don't like inside the relationship. Number 3, how you make yourself happy. You have to know how you make yourself happy. Whether you like to, of course, write, you want to take have your own me time, that kind of thing. You definitely have to know what, of course, makes you happy. You have to know, of course, in those down times, in those moments where you're feeling down, depressed, or just sad, that kind of thing, something has happened, you gotten frustrated or whatever it is at work or whatever the situation is. We all know, of course, we have our partners there, but we can't 100% rely on our partners to, of course, make us happy. We have to make sure that we're able to make ourselves happy, regardless as to if our partner is there or not. And like I said, sometimes I know I've seen a lot from people I've dealt with, couples I've dealt with, professionally and, of course, personally, that are dependent on their partner to, of course, make them happy. Nobody's going to complete you like that. I guess I put it that way. Going into a relationship, you have to know, and if you don't know, I'm, of course, letting you know right now that you, of course, have to have your own sense of happiness already. Know that you can, of course, pick yourself up when you're down, pick yourself up when you're having those hard days, and don't just depend on your partner for those things. Like I said, that does put a lot of responsibility on one person, I guess I put it that way. So like I said, going in, and if you're already into that relationship already, just make sure that you're, of course, developing some skills and developing some skills to, of course, make yourself happy. Like I said, there's all types of things that you can do, whether you're a person who likes to go out in nature, or you like to journal, or whatever it is, of course, to take your mind off things. You like to read the Bible, you like to pray or meditate, whatever it is. If those things make you happy, like I'm cooking, of course, but some of you may not know that I love to cook, I love to bake, I love to make and create things also. And like I said, that makes me happy. I don't depend on my partner to make me happy like that. And sometimes I am having a bad day, of course, he will give me a hug, that kind of thing. I mean, that's to be expected. But generally, like I said, if you are coming into a relationship expecting for that person to complete you in the happiness department, that is going to create an issue. And like I said, you definitely have to figure out those things that make you happy, and those things that are going to take some of the stress off your partner, of course, to not have all the responsibility, because it's your responsibility, not theirs. Let me see. Number 4, we're talking about boundaries. Of course, you have to, I know some people may not have boundaries set. It just depends on the person. Or they may have boundaries and they may not be strong boundaries. But make sure that you have some sense of what you will and will not do within the relationship. Like I said, you definitely have to have your boundaries, whether it's inside the bedroom or outside the bedroom. You have to know what makes you feel comfortable inside this relationship, or what's going to make you feel comfortable inside the relationship. And thank you, Shira and Yvette, for tuning in. I hope you all are doing well. And like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you're setting your boundaries. I don't care if it's boundaries, just letting your partner know that you're wanting your meditation time in the morning so they won't bother you, or whatever it is. Like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you set your boundaries. When you're communicating, that kind of thing, sometimes people get upset. Of course, I've gotten upset. I mean, a lot of people get upset. But you have to know, of course, where your cutoff moment is. If you're one of those people who, of course, gets so frustrated, gets so upset that you may start cursing, yelling, and hitting below the belt, you have to at some point, learn how to calm yourself a little bit. Let your partner know that your boundary, of course, at this time will be that he or she give you time so you can work on whatever issue it is going on and calm down, so you all can come back to this conversation. Like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you know what your boundaries are. Like I said, especially in the bedroom, when it comes to the bedroom as well. Some partners, of course, one person may want sex all the time. And if that's not on your list to have sex every day or whatever it is, you weren't expecting that, you have to let your partner know what your boundaries are. Like I said, there's all kind of lifestyles out there. There's all kind of things that go on in the bedroom. And you definitely have to make sure that your partner know what you are or are not going to do. And that actually goes into the number 5, which is your non-negotiables. non-negotiables are those things that you are not willing to negotiate, whether that's you're not, of course, since I was talking about the bedroom already, I'll just stick with that. In the bedroom department, if you a non-negotiable for you could be that you're not willing to let anybody else, or you're not willing to have any sex toys in the bedroom, or you don't believe in having any third person in the bedroom, or you don't believe in, I don't know, foreplay, or whatever it is, I don't know, whatever your non-negotiable is, like I said, inside the bedroom, outside the bedroom as well, that if you all are, of course, out at the grocery store and you all getting upset, something's going on, you've had a miscommunication or whatever it was, and you all start to, or your partner may start to argue or want to get loud in the grocery store. Like I said, if you want to make sure that you're holding your boundaries and holding your own and letting your partner know that that's something that you will not tolerate and something that you will not do, is argue at the grocery store, put it that way. And like I said, hopefully your partner will of course respect that. Like I said, that's definitely what this is all built on, is of course mutual respect. And of course, if that's your non-negotiable, make sure that you're letting your partner know those things. And like I said, make sure that you have, like I said, know yourself. You have to know yourself 100%, or at least the best that you can know yourself, in order to communicate these things to your partner. Like I said, you don't want to leave yourself open for a partner or for a person to come into your life and do whatever they want to do, and y'all at the grocery store and they start arguing and howling and yelling and want to fight and all these kind of things going on, and people looking like, what the heck is going on with this couple? Like I said, and that's something that you don't like, and that's definitely embarrassing to you, and that you have never done and that you don't want to do, but your partner's doing so. Like I said, you definitely have to lay down your ground rules. The boundaries and the non-negotiables are definitely your ground rules when it comes to yourself, what you will tolerate, and of course inside your relationship, what you will and will not tolerate. So just keep that in mind. And number 6 is talking about, how do you take time for yourself to have your me time? Of course, like I said, your partner's there, of course, to enhance whatever traits or whatever is already going on within you, I guess I put it that way. They're not there to complete you. So when you get into your relationship, or you're already in your relationship, just keep in mind that to keep your individuality, to keep the person that you is, I guess I put it that way, or the person that you are, proper English, you have to make sure that you know, of course, and stick to and hold to, of course, your me time, the time that you're taking for yourself, whether it's going to get your nails done, going to get your hair cut for the guys, or whatever it is. Like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you are keeping that time and making sure that your partner know that that's your sacred time for yourself, and that you, of course, to respect those things. Like I said, that's definitely something that we have to make sure that we stick to, and not just, of course, oh, my partner wants to do this and do that. Of course, I know that's going to come up. Your partner may want to have, they may have other activities going on, that kind of thing. But if you haven't communicated, like I said, with your boundaries, what your actual me time is, and please don't interrupt me, that kind of thing, you have to make those things clear. Like I said, your partner won't know unless you tell them. They don't read minds. Nobody reads minds. I guess Miss Cleo did back in the day. I don't know, but like I said, nobody to my knowledge reads minds like that. Let me see, where am I? Number 7. How do you communicate? You have to know, of course, what kind of communicating partner you are. I guess I put it that way, when you're showing up for yourself and in your relationship. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to communicate, or doesn't like to be honest, or don't like to talk at all when you're mad, that kind of thing, like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you know that about yourself, and then of course tell your partner those things. But like I said, definitely you want to make sure that you know yourself well enough to know how you communicate. If you're a person who of course shuts down because somebody's trying to challenge you, I guess I put it that way, because our partners will sometimes challenge us. Like I said, you definitely have to you definitely have to know that that's something about you that you may want to work on, that kind of thing, especially if you're getting defensive. But like I say, you have to know what kind of communicator you are, whether you're a person that screams, hollers, and yells, or whether you're a person that wants to sit down, have a talk, that kind of thing, which is good as well. Like I said, you definitely have to know how do you communicate within yourself, with others, of course, as well, not just your partner, because this goes beyond your partner as well. It could be with your kids, it could be with your family, your friends, your employers. You have to know yourself well enough to know how you communicate in those situations, regardless of what's going on. Number 9, how do you resolve conflict? Of course, that's another one that we, of course, when we're talking about being self-aware, knowing ourselves and that kind of thing, we all should know how we, of course, resolve conflict. Whether we're one that, of course, like I said before, that hollers, curse, yell, that kind of thing, or you're walking out the house because you don't want to hear what your partner has to say, or whoever it is has to say, or you're one who, of course, that will, of course, hear both sides and, of course, be respectful, fight fair, that kind of thing with your partner. Like I said, you definitely have to know how you communicate and how you're going to communicate in your relationship as well. Like I said, you definitely don't want to go in not having this, like I said, all these kind of I guess all this communication, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, you definitely have to have this communication about, like I said, all these things that I've talked about, the non-negotiables, the boundaries. How do you, of course, communicate? How do you, of course, resolve conflict? Like I said, you definitely want to talk to your partner about these things as well. I'm sure I'll get to that later down the line too, but I just want to make sure I keep reiterating that so you all can understand where I'm coming from. Because you don't want to go into a relationship blindly yourself, not knowing yourself, not knowing what, of course, ticks, I guess, what makes you tick, or what makes you upset, or what makes you calm, what makes you cry, all those kind of things. You don't want to go into a relationship not knowing that about yourself already. Like I said, that definitely leaves the room open for someone to take advantage of you. And I definitely don't want that for anybody, which I know that still happens. But like I said, I definitely don't want that for anybody. And for those, of course, out there listening who haven't, of course, kind of gotten to know themselves pretty well, I hope that some of these things on this list, of course, will help you. And just to let you all know that I will, of course, put this in written form as well as a post later on this week, so you will have this information as a written post as well, so that you can keep with you, download if you want to, that kind of thing. Where am I at? Number 9. How do you forgive and move past issues? Of course, you have to know how you, like I said, how do you forgive and how do you move past issues? Some people, of course, don't forgive and don't move past issues very well, hold grudges, very resentful, all that kind of thing. Like I said, you definitely want to know how you do that. If that's you, of course, that's a lot of things that you may have to work on. But like I said, it's definitely unfair for you to go into a relationship where you're, of course, holding grudges, you have past grudges, you have all these walls that you built, all this stuff going on, and you're, of course, holding grudges for your partner because they forgot to pick up some milk or something, and you're, of course, not forgiving and you're not moving on past the situation and able to resolve things. I know it could be something definitely a lot worse than that, but like I said, with the small things, some people are not able to forgive, and you have to know what kind of person that you are. Like I said, if you're a person who does not forgive very easily, cannot move on past different issues, small things, I guess I put it that way, like I said, that's definitely going to create conflict within your relationship and make it harder for you and your partner to, of course, come together as one, to, of course, get on the same page, and then to, of course, move forward as well. That's definitely going to create some issues, so let's keep that in mind. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I know that some of you are already in union and some of you may not be, but just keep in mind that I always say, before you get into a relationship, make sure that you know these things about yourself. Like I said, it's definitely unfair to a person to come into this relationship and you knew that you're not one who forgives, and you know that you're not one who that is going to hold grudges and make things harder for the next person. You don't want that to happen. Like I said, some people, of course, folks will leave you for doing all those kind of things, of course, especially if you can't get past whatever the situation is in order to move on. But like I said, that's definitely unfair to your partner. If you know you have these things, you know that you have issues with, of course, resolving conflicts, you can't forgive, you can't move past issues. Like I said, if you're not already dating, make sure that you take time out for yourself to get to know that part about you, so that you can, of course, devise your plan and how you're going to start responding to different issues, and how you're going to, of course, learn how to move forward and that kind of thing. Like I said, you definitely don't want to take it on somebody else who doesn't even know what's going on and have no idea why you're acting this way or that kind of thing at all. Like I said, those are things that we have to learn how to figure out and do for ourselves, regardless as to if you're already in your relationship. You can always still work on these things, especially if getting to know yourself and finding out more of who you are is an issue at this time for you, or you think it's an issue, whichever the case may be. Just keep in mind that it's never too late to, of course, learn yourself. I'm 44 years old now. A few years ago, I did another round of self-development, I guess you can say that, to learn myself more, to learn who I am, to learn how I work, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, there is definitely always, at least to me, some room, not always, but some room, I guess sometimes room for improvement. So definitely just keep that in mind. I'm trying to see where I'm at, y'all. Number 11. I know I talked about this in the beginning, a little bit in the beginning as well, but how will you communicate these things to your partner and those around you? Of course, knowing yourself and loving yourself and taking time out for yourself and knowing your boundaries and knowing your non-negotiables and what you like and what you don't like, how you resolve conflicts, all these things. You have to be able to, of course, communicate these things to your partner. Now, I know sometimes people don't want to just have a sit down, that kind of thing. If you all want to go walking on a trail somewhere and talk about these things, definitely do so. That's always a good thing to do as well, especially when you have a heavy conversation, is to do something that's, of course, kind of fun in the meantime, something active, I guess I put it that way, so that you all can focus, of course, on the conversation and on whatever kind of fun activity you're doing in hand as well. But just make sure that you're able to communicate these things to your partner. Like I said before, don't expect your partner just to know that you're one who can't forgive. You're one that don't have any boundaries, whatever it is. Like I said, you just can't expect your partner to just know that. Make sure that you're communicating these things to your partner. Like I said before, they cannot read your mind and they have no idea what's going on within you. You have to be the person to, of course, let them know all those things. And like I said, you have to devise your plan on how you're going to communicate that. I would suggest, of course, if you want to take a hike, that kind of thing, or go out for a drive, whatever it is, or just sit down at home. If you're one who wants to sit down at home and have the conversation in the house, that's fine as well. Definitely do those things. But like I said, you cannot expect your partner to know who you are and to know all these things about you if you haven't even voiced them, you haven't told them, you haven't even taken the time out to let them know how you feel about, I don't know, the flowers he brought home or she brought home, whatever it was. You have to, like I said, have these conversations. I know a lot of times these were just some of these were light questions, I guess I would say. So like I said, sometimes we have to have those hard conversations as well. Those hard conversations talking about, of course, things that happened in the past to us, and because all those things that happened in the past, if you have not resolved them, they are going to come out in your current behavior. So just keep that in mind. I know I've had my fair share of that happen to myself, I guess I put it that way, and thinking I can just go on and go on and go on for years without having addressing all these issues, whether that was my parents' domestic violence and all those kind of things, or sexual abuse as a child. Like I said, all those things will come out in the way that we, of course, communicate and talk to our partners and, of course, behave with our partners. So just make sure that you keep those things in mind, y'all. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. I'm trying to make sure I have everything. Yeah. So I know we've talked about a lot. Like I said, these 10 things, just to let you know some of the ways and some of the areas you want to look at when you're trying to, of course, learn yourself, know what you're about, and to, of course, then let your partner know that as well. But like I said, these are 10 areas, I guess I would say that. I'm just trying to make sure I haven't said anything, left anything out. Now, I know I did write down some more notes, and I think I've said this already, but just searching, having a relationship and not knowing who you are, what you want and what you need, your expectations, your values and beliefs, like I said, that will definitely play out into your relationship. And it will, of course, bring chaos at some point into your relationship. Like I said, nobody's a mind reader. Nobody's going to know you better than you know yourself. So just keep that in mind, y'all. I know y'all probably have heard people say that a lot. And I'm just here to tell you the same exact thing, because nothing I'm saying is new. So like I said, I'm just definitely here to tell you all the same thing. But like I said, I definitely want to just make sure I came on this evening while I was getting my food prepared, just to let you all know that knowing yourself is the best thing that you can do for your relationship. And I know I talked a little bit about this last year, like I said in the group, but I know I need to talk about this more this year. I guess I'd say that, because I know that of course, our relationships are made up of individuals, and those individuals coming into the relationship, of course, we expect people to, of course, well, I know it's not going to happen every single time at all, but I know what folks have told me. Oh, I expected her to show up a different way, or I expected him to show up a different way, that kind of thing, but they're giving me chaos, they're giving me attitude, and all these things are going on. Like I said, you definitely have to make sure that you know that the relationships that you have, you not knowing yourself, is going to at some point cause issues. And it could cause a breakup. I have seen that and I witnessed that. But like I said, we definitely, if you love the person, that kind of thing, you don't want those kind of things to happen. Like I said, you definitely have to take time out to figure out who you are, how you work, how you love yourself, and all those kind of things as well, so that your partner knows how to respect you and love you as well. So like I said, with that, I'm trying to make sure there is nothing else. Let me go back. And there is a quote. There is a quote, because there is a quote I actually wanted to read before I got off of here. It says, an outstanding love doesn't come from two half-fulfilled people coming together to make one complete life. Outstanding love comes from two people coming together to share and enhance their already full and beautiful lives. And that was by Pia Skade. So I definitely want to make sure that I read you all that quote, because like I said, that's definitely the truth. If you are, of course, going into the relationship or already in the relationship, and you're not knowing who you are and are caring who you are, you're putting so much time and energy into your partner and leaving yourself out the equation, just realize that that's going to at some point cause you issues and backfire on you. You have to know who you are so everybody else around you can know how to respect you and treat you, and of course at least give you something you like. I mean, your favorite color, favorite food, whatever it is. And like I said, of course, keep the boundaries between you two. Like I said, you definitely want that in your relationship. I know there may be some that don't have that, but that's okay. You can always build those things. Just keep that in mind. It's not to say that, oh my God, since I don't love myself today, or I don't know myself today, that you cannot get that. You sure can get that. You just have to put in the work. Like I said, you definitely have to go back over those things and some of these tips in these areas that I talked about, whether that was knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like. How can you make yourself happy? What are your boundaries and your non-negotiables? How do you take time to love on yourself, your me time? How do you resolve the conflicts? How do you forgive and move past issues? And how do you communicate? And then how are you going to communicate all those things to your partner? Like I said, I know it sounds like a lot, and I will write those in post form for you all so they can be written inside the group. But just keep in mind, knowing yourself is key to all the relationships that you have. I don't care if it's with your partner. I don't care if it's with your family, your friends, or whoever it is. If you're not showing up who you are, knowing who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and all those kind of things, people will, of course, start running over you and doing whatever they want to do to you because you don't know what it is that you like and don't like, and you have no boundaries. So like I said, definitely make sure that you're protecting yourself from those things and making sure that you create what you don't like and, I guess, what you like, who you are, all those kind of things. Make sure that you're working on yourself to figure out how, like I said, what makes you tick and all those kind of things as well. You have to know who you are. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get my butt off here and finish this food. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in again this evening. Sorry about that. Shira, Yvette, JB, and Melanie, like I said, definitely thank you all for tuning in this evening. And I hope this just gave you a little glimpse into, of course, like I said, for those who may be listening now or catching the replay, make sure that you all know that this is giving you a little glimpse into some things that you can think about when you're trying to find out who you are, trying to know yourself, all those kind of things as well. And as I'm talking to you all, just remember one thing, another thing, in order to know yourself, you have to know, of course, what kind of spirituality you have, whether you're one who wants to go to church or don't want to go to church or read the Bible, you don't want to be spiritual, you don't care about those things, you want a partner who cares about those things. You have to know those kind of things as well. You have to know whether you are, like I said, you're going to be praying every day or whatever the case is going to be, and whether you even want God into your life. Some folks don't want God in their life, and that's okay. Of course, I respect that, and that's up to you all. But like I said, you definitely have to know how you would show up with your spirituality into your relationship as well, and not expecting your partner to fulfill that for you or create something for you like that at all. Your partner can, of course, enhance that within you, your spirituality and your belief in God and stuff like that, but you already have to know what you like and what you're looking at doing. Yes, I know there's compromise, of course, within the relationships. I know that. But like I said, you already have to go in knowing what you want, knowing how you're going to show up, all those kind of things. So again, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in this evening. And I'm going to go ahead and get off here so I can finish this. So thank you again, Shira, Yvette, JB, and Melanie. And for those who catch the replay, definitely enjoy. And of course, take care, you all. Have a good day.